10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff. So your post-launch flight operations. Towers
You saw it on the screen and heard the call-outs. We had successful liftoff of the Falcon 9 on time. A few seconds after that, it cleared the towers and then did a pitch kick maneuver. Currently, vehicle is supersonic. You may have just been able to make out a small sonic boom there. We're about to head to max Q, which is maximum aerodynamic pressure. That's the point at which the rocket is pushing hardest against the atmosphere.
Vehicle has passed through max Q.
Just finished that stage of flight.
MVAC engine chill has started.
MVAC engine chill gets the engines cold enough just in the way that the first stage engines perform its chill. And coming up shortly, we're going to have a few things in quick succession. The main engines are going to cut off, the two stages are going to separate, and the second engine will start. And the first stage is then going to make its way back towards landing zone 1 with a boost back burn.
We have Miko.
Stage separation.
And there we have it. Those 4 events all went in quick succession. The first stage currently boosting back. We've also gotten confirmation that the second stage trajectory is good.
Boost back burn shut down.
Okay, so on the left-hand side of your screen, you just saw the grid fins deploy. Quick recap for those of you that may have just joined us. We've had a successful launch of Falcon 9 for Dragon to the International Space Station. We have had a stage separation, and on the left-hand side is the first stage, Falcon 9, returning back to landing zone 1 in Florida.
We just had a phenomenal camera shot from our ground tracking cameras of the first stage and second stage separating, and then that first stage boost back burn. Currently, the first stage on the left-hand side of your screen is about to enter its re-entry burn phase. This is when it slows itself down before it hits the dense part of the atmosphere so that there's no aerodynamic heating of those engines which are coming in head first.
And that shot that you see on the right-hand side of your screen, that is the second stage engine glowing brightly. Personally, one of my favorite shots that we can get during a launch as it carries Dragon towards the International Space Station. So first stage on the left-hand side, second stage on the right.
On the left-hand side, that first stage, you can see those cold gas thrusters. Those are orienting the stage as it goes to the upper regions of the atmosphere. And then as the air gets thicker and thicker on its way down, we start using those grid fins, which you just saw deploy, to steer the stage back towards a safe landing at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, landing zone 1.
Yeah. So we have a total of 3 burns that the first stage will perform. You've already saw the boost back burn. We're getting ready for the re-entry burn, and that's to slow it down. And then finally the landing the landing burn. And we're about 30 seconds away from that re-entry.
You can actually see the edge of Cape Canaveral in the screen on the left-hand side there. So as we get closer and closer to the ground, we should be able to get continuous video all the way down towards touching down on that pad.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Daytime launch, can't get any better than that. They're gorgeous shots.
Remember on the right-hand side, the primary mission, that's a camera mounted towards the bottom of the second stage. On top of that second stage, the Dragon spacecraft. Let's get an update on how it's doing right now.
We're at T plus 5 minutes and 55 seconds, and the second stage is still moving along at full power towards the International Space Station. Quick recap of the mission thus far. First stage had an on-time launch at 10:26 Eastern. We've just moved into entry burn startup, and you can see that happening on the screen on your the left side of the screen. We had a nominal ascent. Second stage separated from the first stage, which is still moving towards landing zone 1. The Dragon nose cone was deployed, and power and trajectory are both still looking good on stage 2.
Stage 1 AFTS has saved.
So we are just seconds away from that landing burn. The first stage on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see it's getting very close to Cape Canaveral. In just a second or two, that landing burn, the center engine will light up and take it softly down to the ground.
Yeah, so we should be seeing that in just a couple of seconds. We're just past T plus 7 on the right-hand side, second stage as it's carrying Dragon spacecraft towards the International Space Station, our primary mission. But on the left-hand side, let's tune in and watch this landing burn.
Landing burn has just started, as you can see. Watch for those landing leg deploy. Just a second or two.
You just saw the first stage land on landing zone 1. That marks the second successful visit to and from space for this particular booster. MVAC-D, the Merlin vacuum engine that you're currently seeing on your screen, has slowly begun to power down as expected. The second engine cutoff is coming up in about 20 seconds.
Second stage AFTS has saved.
At that point, the second stage and Dragon will be coasting towards its rendezvous with the International Space Station. We'll confirm we've entered the correct orbit, and then Dragon will deploy from the second stage.
Yes, you could.
GNC confirms good orbit insertion.
So we had a successful landing of that first stage of the Falcon 9. That's the second time for that particular booster. Right now we had a second engine cutoff of the second stage, and we're just waiting for the Dragon deploy, where the Dragon separates from the second stage of the rocket.
Right, so there you can see on your screen, we're waiting for that visual confirmation of Dragon deployment. After Dragon deploys, we will be waiting for the solar arrays to spread out, and then it'll be making its way to the International Space Station.
Acquisition of signal on your phone.
So watching your screen right now, this is a camera pointing at the very bottom of the Dragon as it's docked right now to the second stage of the Falcon 9. Oh, and there it is. That is a successful deployment of the Dragon spacecraft. You can see into the trunk, those external payloads in the very back of the trunk right now.
Right, so like we said before, that is the unpressurized section of Dragon. The pressurized, you can't see it from this particular view, but all of that will be making its way to the International Space Station over the next 3 days or so. We're expecting it to arrive on Sunday.
You may have also seen the two pods on the side of the trunk. Those are the solar panels. Currently they're folded up accordion style against the sides of the trunk. In just about a minute or so now, those covers are going to pop off, and then the solar panels are going to extend, which gives the Dragon the power it needs to get to the International Space Station.
Yeah, so there on your screen, that's a shot from the second stage, and that is Dragon moving away in its mission. And wow, that's...
Now, Dragon doesn't just go directly to the International Space Station. It actually takes a series of burns to get there. And this happens over a period of about 36 to 72 hours after the deployment. These are both height adjust and co-elliptic burns, as you can see in this animation. The Dragon slowly moves itself closer and closer to the ISS until it's grabbed by the arm and can be birthed.
Yeah, so birthing is what we refer to as when the Canada arm reaches out, as you can see right there, grabs Dragon and then brings it in and mates it to the International Space Station. Docking, however, is whenever the Dragon itself will be docking itself to the International Space Station without the help of the Canada arm to bring it in.
Right now on your screen, or you could just see the second stage engine bell as it just coasts up there in space. Like I said, we just had a successful separation of the Dragon. We are just waiting for that solar panel to deploy. And then Dragon can make its way to the ISS over the next few days.
Yeah, so quick recap, just in case if you're just joining us, we had a successful launch of Falcon 9 as well as a successful landing. This is the second time that this particular rocket has launched and landed. We also have Dragon making its way to the International Space Station as successfully separated from the second stage. And this is also the second time that this Dragon spacecraft is being used as well.
You can see our mission control in Hawthorne, California right now. Everyone's very excited to be launching both a reused Falcon and reused Dragon. You can see there's usually a crowd that comes out for launch days, even though it's early in the morning. It's always good to see the SpaceX crowd coming out to watch a launch.
So the view on your right is a shot of the second engine. Oh, and there's the visual confirmation of the Dragon solar arrays deploying.
So those solar arrays are normally packed up against the side of the trunk. You can see them accordioning, folding out. Dragon has batteries on board that allow it to collect energy, and those solar arrays just make sure that it's topped up for the next few days as it gets closer and closer to the ISS.
Expected loss of signal, Bermuda.
So as you can see there, visual confirmation of the Dragon solar arrays deploying. At this point in time, that's all we're going to follow for today's webcast. However, that's not the end of the mission. Dragon still has a couple days to go before it reaches the International Space Station. But as of right now, it's been a wonderful start to our Friday morning. We had a successful launch, a successful landing, and a successful deployment for Dragon towards the International Space Station.
Though Dragon's mission is not yet complete, this is going to bring our webcast coverage to a close. Right now, we'd like to thank our customer, NASA, for helping us out in yet another commercial resupply services mission. We'd like to thank the Air Force for supporting, and the FAA, of course, and you, the viewer, for tuning in. Thank you.
And if you'd like to come join us to work on missions like launching Dragon to the International Space Station, check us out at spacex.com/careers and look for future updates from us on our social media accounts.